Halal YAhuah, all praise the Most High Yah. My name is Stevia Davis Black Hawk. Um, I was adopted in the early 2000s, and my name changed from Black Hawk to Davis. Um, 1 second, I did not know that was on. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. It's my four siblings. My bad. I'll always do that. Two of my siblings were miscarried, so that would have been six. I always be counting the one that was supposed to be after me for some reason. But I have the oldest of 4 siblings. Myself, my sister Dominique, my sister Maya, and Tamaya. Um, is this recording? Hold on. Okay, yeah. Before we were taken to foster, my mom has other siblings. She always says 11, unless I'm tripping, but I only count like 7, unless like 2, because she always say she got 11 siblings. But under her is her sister Sharon, which is my cousin Jatara Davis Dillard's mother, my cousin. Get into that later. Um, Above my mom, she has her sister Jacqueline. That's who I was her sex slave. She was her dad's sex slave. I did not know until recently put together how the police was involved. The police was always there. CPS was always there. They instructed them to beat and abuse us, but I did not understand everything that I understand now. Those 3 siblings have the same mom and dad. I believe my granddad was paid by the government to have those children to traffic them. Um, my granddad and my grandma had previous children before getting into the relationship. My uncle Johnny is my grandma's son, and my auntie Sheila is my grandma's son. And then my granddad has my auntie Grace, who was evil as well. I was her favorite, but I never gave in to her because I didn't like that. She only favored the oldest. I was literally walking down the street one time and she offered me a ride, but I had to leave my younger siblings. So I said no. Where I would be upset with my sister Dominique is whenever someone would come and pretend to be a mom figure, she would throw us all under the fucking bus. She just wanted that love so bad. She's a Leo. I was more loyal. My sister didn't want me to be a mom. She wanted me to be a sister. Her points now as an adult because I was never hearing it as a child. Um, but my aunt Grace, she was evil. She was not evil to me, but she was evil, and I never cleaved her because she raped and abused my aunt Jacqueline, who raped and abused me. Um, she's like 20, 30 years older than my aunt, than her sister. She was already grown when they were born. So my aunt Grace, my aunt Denise, and my uncle Junior. So that's around like 8 siblings. So it's like 3 missing if she had other ones. Because always says she has 11 siblings, but that's like 8 or 9. And she never talked about the other ones if it was other ones. She just always said that she had 11 siblings. But those are my mom's siblings. The successful side of the family was my granddad's children. They didn't talk to us really that much at all. My auntie Grace, she ran away because she got sexually assaulted at Paris Lake. And she became a Jehovah's Witness and just left the whole family. Been to her house one time, seen her like 2, 3 times in life. My aunt Grace, a lot of her children are lawyers and stuff like that. Again, we don't talk to that side of the family because they don't talk to us. I don't know them really. They were involved in our life for a little bit after We got adopted by my aunt, but that's when my aunt used to be like, "Oh, you think these people love you? You think they care about you? I'll make anything up and see who they believe." And that was in, when she was separating me from society to be her sex slave. Um, and surely enough, she made things up and they believed her. Um, and that's when I kind of just stopped caring about people's approval, because people will believe lies about you and leave you alone in your abuse and not believe. I don't know if I spoke up. I didn't really understand what was going on. Um, my auntie Sheila is a gangbanger. She don't like me because when I was in preschool, she robbed the neighbors and I called the police and asked them to assist her. And she got taken to jail and she hated me ever since. Her bad. Um, um, my auntie Sharon, she's kind of just looking for her daughter that was kidnapped. Um, when she was younger, she was in a lot of depression. She slept a lot because she ended up getting a disease. She let go of life. CPS came and got involved, took her child, um, and trafficked her through Hollywood. And she was passed around back and forth between the family and the system, Riverside system. And to this day, my cousin Jatara is missing. Um, she was taken to her social worker, Nicole, took her to talent camp. And what I remember was R. Kelly and Jay Z. She ended up getting pregnant by an African man named Kenny. She had a son named James. That child was the only one that was not adopted. He was put into a group home. The rest of her children that she had with her husband, Chris Dillard, that was also in a group home that joined the Marines. And I believe that they approached him to sell his wife and kids. Um, she had the rest of her children by that man, but she was still being trafficked and sold by the government, which they tried to do to me. Um, my aunt Sheila had children. They were taken to foster first and then, passed around through the family. All of my cousins went to live with my aunt for a time before going with other family members. We were the last to be taken because my mom was a good mom. They pronounced my mom crazy. She tried to commit mass suicide because we were going through satanic ritual abuse after Hillary Clinton tried to kidnap me from a Christmas parade and from Sanders Elementary School around the time of the Twin Towers collapsing from C4. That was C4. I military know how C4 works. Um, they said my mom was crazy because they were doing these things. Dropped a whole bunch of mice on us, fleas and mosquitoes, and my mom figured it out and they called her crazy. Not only that, they were trying to force my mom to sex traffic us. My mom been getting raped in the bed with her drugged mom since she was 3 years old, with her drugged mom and her drugged one, and her 1 year old sister. The children were not drugged. Um, that this had nothing to do with Diddy. This is Freemason ritual stuff. My granddad is 50 years older than Diddy, and we had the same thing. My granddad used to have those barbecues. They killed a pig. That's when the white men used to come on the land and have their way with us. It's Freemason satanic ritual abuse that Diddy is also in. It's not just Diddy. So when you put it like that, you end what it really is. My granddad was a Freemason wizard. When they used to have these barbecues, that's when the white people used to come on the land and inspect us and all that stuff that I did not know what was going on. Um, my granddad trafficked us to his friends' properties because where we were living, Mr. Franklin's property, he was also a Freemason, retired from the army. Or I think they were in the Merchant Marines or something like that. Something like that. I don't think it was the army. They were Marines, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or Navy SEAL. Not no, that wasn't it. They were Merchant Marine. I don't remember what I used to say, but they were in World War II on ships. Um, they were trying to get my mom to sell me. Literally, one of my granddad's friends had this garden, and I was looking at the plants, minding my little kid business, and he talking about if your daughter stay on the land, you should let me keep her for a wife. I booked it the fuck about that gate as soon as what the fuck, weird fucking old 6-year-old ass man, I will kill you in your sleep. What the fuck? Um, so they kept trying to get my mom to sell me, but they were also raping and abusing and drugging her. I realized my mom's friend Christine, at this time, I realize now that she was sex trafficking my mom because my mom would sleep a lot. My mom changed when we moved there. She started sleeping a lot. My mom did not used to sleep a lot. She was always taking care of us before we moved to Highway 74. Um, but she would always be going to parties and casinos and stuff like that, and she would just come back and just sleep. Um, and Christine, our neighbor, we would be at home, but she would be like keeping an eye on us or whatever. But my mom was never the same after that. I woke up 2 times to white men standing over my body. My mom started to lose it, and I didn't understand why. She tried to commit mass suicide. CPS was involved in our life. They always gave my mom a whole bunch of condoms. But CPS always giving out condoms and promoting debauchery. Um, they were doing witchcraft on my mom. Mensa came out for my sister. Um, they were trying to take my sister, but I would not let them. It's a lot that I'm leaving out because my brain is not, it's a lot of trauma. This is me recovering from the trauma. I was always donated like desks, computers. There were background people that were always very interested in me and my family that as a kid I didn't really pay attention to or quite notice as much. Um, I remember them putting skull and bones in front of our door. I know the school was involved. My teacher, Miss Irwin, they had us make Asherah poles and was trying to make me bow to a little white boy. Like, I didn't understand that until later I was reading scripture, what an Asherah pole was. They had us dancing around the pole, stringing it up. My mind spaces out. This is the most I'm being able to speak in a lot of my life. Um, they were driving my mom crazy because she was being sex trafficked with her mom, and now her dad is sex trafficking her to other properties with her children. and she's being drugged and they're doing all these things to her and she's figuring it out. They said she was crazy when it all turned out to be true. Um, they put her on Social Security. They tried to get me to, because Hillary Clinton had already tried to kidnap me at this time and failed. CPS had us. We had to go to the doctors, where I think they induced me with something in a vaccine to give me short-term memory loss and mess up my brain. Because I do still suffer from short-term memory loss to this day. My siblings, and basically my siblings, my aunt, my mom, my really, at this point now, think it was something in a vaccine. They tested all of those vaccines on me, the Depo-Provera, um, we went to 11 different foster homes. Every time we moved foster homes, they took us to the same clinic and gave us all those shots again because they claimed to have lost the paperwork. To the same clinic, same doctor. The doctor should remember giving me the same shots 11 times. All of the shots, 11 different rounds. Where also CPS left me for a full body exam by a male doctor who raped me for over 2 hours. Um, I kept blacking everything out and telling myself life would get better. I kept blacking everything out and saying it'll get better, and it never did. To the reason why I'm here now is because the last apartments I was in, the management were some slumlords, and I was being life threatened, sexually harassed there, reporting it for it to stop, and received a 3-day notice, and police kicked my door in and put me out because I was being sexually harassed by the staff. And as I reported it, it got worse. I was frozen there and couldn't talk because the year before that, living in Killeen, running from my life, from domestic abuse, not realizing that CPS was still involved and was trying to take my child. I thought it was just family. Escaped to Killeen and was being Willie Lynch tactics done on me and my child and resisting it. And the police kicked my door in, brutally assaulted me and my child, and kidnapped us. So I have to talk, because if not, what happens next? And I'm not speaking about all of these things because I haven't processed being a child. And every time I try to go somewhere with my dad or my uncle, the police meet us at the gate, beat them down in front of me, and take them to jail every single time. My dad was indigenous. He's dead now. That's why I say was, because he's still indigenous. But my dad was indigenous, and they trafficked him. They experimented on him. He had scars on his body. They took him to parties in Hollywood. My dad is 10 years older than Diddy, so I'm definitely positive it was not Diddy's parties, because it's not just Diddy. It's deeply rooted satanic ritual abuse. My dad was in his 70s when they murdered him, and he was not old at all. He was very agile. He was just a drunk and suffered from being beat in his head constantly. Um, Other than that, he was in very good physical shape and could not tell his age otherwise. Um, My siblings, my sister Dominique, they made her hood in foster care. They put her in hood foster home when she was 9, 10. And I didn't know it was intentional, but she learned hood code. I did not, because I kept snitching. They put me with the white people, um, but um, she had 25, 30-year-old men trying to get with her and sleep with her, and they separated us because I was patrolling, and I would stand up to these men because they tried me too. I'm quiet until you try me. I'm quiet until you try me. I mind my business till you try me. And then once you try me, you don't want to find out. So they made sure, and that was when I only got beat. Nobody talked to me. My sister was always the favorite. I always got beat, so I thought I was disciplining my sister. I think my sister was trying to tell me what was going on, but she told me she was gay. So I beat the fuck out of her because I didn't want her to be gay because the way I was treated, and I didn't talk. So my sister understood, like, she definitely has a reason to be mad at me because I did beat her ass all the time. Um, but so they voted me out of the house. They voted me out of the house. But the way that that was set up, it was because I kept reporting the sexual abuse that was going on. They were bullying my sister and all that stuff. They just voted me out of the house because I was reporting the abuse, not because I beat my sister up, which was not okay. But I did not understand that because I was always being brutally beaten, abused. I thought I was just disciplining her. Um, my sister, she on hood code. I don't know what hood code is. Um, they made us all different. They made us all very, very, very different. So that when we did come back together, we don't know each other anymore. And we didn't realize that we don't know each other anymore. I have been reporting the abuse and nobody did anything. Everybody just treated me like I was a monster. They were like, she was abused. Watch her around the children or she might do something to them. But those were the social workers and foster parents that were sexually abusing me and the children. And they were just trying to keep me quiet. And it worked. I went from reporting all of the abuse to being, every time I reported the abuse, they would set up scenarios to where for me to overhear them talking about me, saying bad things about me, and to watch me because I was abused. I must be the one doing it. So, like, now they're trying to put me in trouble for being raped and abused and for stopping the children from being raped and abused. To now the children are being raped and abused, and I just am frozen having to hear it. I had to figure everything out on my own. Riverside County, the U.S. government is sex trafficking us. Hillary Clinton literally put her hands on me and attempted to kidnap me, to pass me off to the Secret Service. But it didn't go that way as she planned. When I, when after they put us back with my aunt, when I was reporting, when I finally built up the courage to report again the abuse, they took us to safe house. where they tried to run scenarios to try to set us up to see if we would have sex with the boys in there, which we did not. That was weird as fuck. After they tried to set us up on some weird scenarios, like everything was to try to like, oh, you're just this unruly child. You're just no, I'm literally getting raped and abused and beat the fuck out of. When that didn't work, they ganged up on us, the police, CPS, counselor, and my aunt at a teen decision meeting and told me that I was a lying, unruly child, and they sent me back. And I got jumped and beat and stumped out. They kept my sister for a little while longer and sent her to a safe house in the desert. They didn't say anything about the court date. They just picked me up a month before I turned 18 and just placed me in foster care. The foster mom was a trap queen. They had a stripper pole in the kitchen. Her sons were raping and trafficking the girls. One of them committed suicide, and they covered it up. They took us to court, not telling us what the court date was for. I'm just thinking it's just because we're back in foster. The only thing they wanted to talk about was what I was going to do after I got out of foster. I wanted to emancipate. I wanted there was a program where that my sister is in where you have your own apartment, but it's like roommates. But my foster mom was like, no, I want her to live with me so that I would not get that program. And then as soon as we got home, she was like, fuck you, bitch. I only said that so you don't get the program. You getting the fuck about my house on your 18th birthday. So I had no option but to go to the military. Um, and that was the decision that the court and the judge made for me to go to the army, and they put it in my prom packet. Um, I did not find out until I was in basic training that the court was for reporting a sexual abuse, to which they dismissed it on a ponderance of evidence. Um, so much stuff happened in the military, but I'm going to leave that out. When I got out of the military, I did not know that they were attempting to set me up to take my children. My family owns land, but there was a social worker and a drug dealer on the land. I don't go anywhere men are. So I did not go. The Most High blessed me to have friends that also own land. And I stayed with one of my friends' grandma until my husband chased me down on the street and tried to kill me. And I just never came back. I did end up telling my friend later why I ended up leaving, but I was so embarrassed. I just didn't even come back. And then another one of my friends got me an apartment because her dad owns land. But my family came and stalked me there. My mom sent her friend that was retired CPS to pretend to be CPS and attempt to kidnap my daughter. That day, I left and I became homeless. Ended up having to go back with my mom to where they then set me up to be put in the shelter, which they wanted to put me in to be able to take my child. They ran scenarios and stuff on me. I ended up getting my own place, which was in Killeen. Um, and it just never stopped. But I was able to piece together from everybody beating me in my head what was going on last year as I came out of this shock. And that's just where I'm at now. My children, my husband who abandoned me about 9 years ago, called me twice, and the police were there. He only let me talk to my children twice. He called me twice in the last 9 years, and the police was there as he's trying to set me up. That I had to figure that out too. The police made sure I knew that they were there because they gave daughter stickers. Um, and she came back and was telling me, each time I report the sexual abuse, they play it off as if I'm crazy and they just let it continue. The police wanted to let me know that I was there, but if anybody touched my children, it will be the last thing you do. I'm recovering from memory loss. I was born, raped, abused, and passed around. Had to process that I even have children, and now they're being under attack. If anything happens to my children, it will be the last thing you do. I was living peaceably, trying to. My daughter wants to have a sports team. I like to learn. I wanted to have a school. I was building a business with my daughter. That was my focus, sports and studying. But I keep being actively assaulted. My dream is to have a sports team with my daughter, which was her dream. And she recruited me onto. But I keep being assaulted. And I am standing up for my life and fighting for my life. I was not bothering anybody.